And I walked off, and I'm jealous of him to a degree. I'm like, bloody hell, how good was it? It was ridiculous. But I don't want to put the work in to get that good.
I don't think anyone does. A lot of people do because it's so much work, isn't it?
Yes. So Mingwoo Lee, I want to start with him first. We had him on the podcast. He is next week's episode. No, sorry, 2 weeks episode
Yes,
from today.
weeks.
Reason being, it's not time sensitive. We're going to release it when guys are on holiday. So that's going to be a really exciting one. He'd never done a podcast before, or actually sat in person. He's 22 years old, but his maturity level is just ridiculous, isn't it?
It's like he's a grown up, isn't he?
Yeah, he's so good. So that's a really good podcast to look forward to. His golf. So before we'd done the podcast, I hadn't played golf with him. We'd kind of been a little bit of communication on DMs, on Instagram and things like that. And he's done really well. He's won in Australia on the European Tour. He has been up there round and about. He's quite new to the tour still. But quite simply, he is one of the best golfers I've ever seen.
Unbelievable.
I've played with some really good golfers. Westwood, Fleetwood, Rose, Matt Wallace,
Luke Donald,
Beef,
Harrington,
Nasser Hattakotcha,
yeah,
who I would actually have previous before this said she was one of the most impressive golfers, but on a different scale. Mingwoo Lee was just phenomenal.
He had in 18 holes 9 birdies, and it could have easily been 11.
He had a 3-putt. He had a 3-putt par in that. He drove a green, the 6th, 3-putt par. He had eagle opportunities on every par 5 and very, very makeable eagle opportunities. He boxed a lot of fantastic birdie putts, and his golf. And we kind of both said this, that I've played with many good players, and when they hit a great shot, I kind of think to myself, I know I can't do that all the time, but I can do that. Like what you've just done, I can do.
Yeah.
Not first take, maybe 10th take, whatever it may be, whether it's a driver shot, an iron into the green, a wedge shot, a putt, a bunker shot, whatever it may be. The way he played golf, I can't do 99.9% of the things he can do.
Yeah.
And that scares me.
Well, when we've done videos recently with James Robinson, who's been on the European Tour and played in the Open, he's obviously unreal at golf. Like, imagine the best player at your club. He's probably 5 shots better than that. Well, it's hard to say, but he's class, isn't he? He's so good.
Yeah.
But like you said, when he hits shots, it's what impresses me more like a James Robinson is not so much the shot, it's the consistency of hitting that shot. Like you said, if you bombed a driver and it's gone however far, me and you, I think, could do that shot, but we might hit 5 or 6 more that are horrendous or whatever. Yeah. He does it every time pretty much. But like Mingwoo Lee, the strike, the sound, the flight, the distance. Like, he was 30, 40 past you, wasn't he, truthfully? If not more in a couple of holes.
Comfortably.
Absolutely bombs it.
There's a couple of times when he hit driver first, and I thought, bloody hell, he's hit that really well. And I would step up there and crush it. And deep down, I'm thinking, I can't hit that any better. Like, that's as good as I've just hit a golf shot. It's straight down the fairway. And I played really nicely at Kings Barnes, which you would have seen.
Yeah, that'll be out now.
I played really nicely. And I'm walking down the fairway thinking, well, there's my ball. Where's his? Where is he?
Miles.
And he's 30, 40, 50, 60 yards further than me every frigging time.
It's and the strike with irons, like certainly with long irons, it's just like absolutely flushed. And then like he'd hit a wedge that he's like not overly impressed with, and it'd be like 15 foot to the side, and it's like still a really good birdie chance.
He was always pin high on wedges. He played this beautiful little flight with his wedges, just so nicely played. And the other thing that I really noticed, and I think you picked up on it as well, there was next to no shape on his golf shots.
So straight.
Like, and that really helped because there was a bit of a breeze there at Kings Barnes. There's so many times where he just hit it, almost the wind just didn't affect his golf shot.
Mad.
He putted him unbelievable. His short game when he didn't hit the green was phenomenal. He played that amazing bunker shot on number 17.
Yeah.
Just like, what? The kid's a baller.
You know, when we did videos recently with James Robinson, and you said after filming, I think you might have said in the podcast, you almost can't comprehend how he's not on tour still. Do you now realise more?
I do.
And this isn't offensive with James Robinson, it's just that level below.
And I think people need to see that to understand the separation between a James Robinson And he knows it. James
Yeah,
knows
yeah.
this.
That's
It's
why
not,
he's
we're
not
not
on. Yeah.
we're not talking out of turn. And then a Mingwoo Lee, and then a Dustin Johnson, a Justin Thomas, a Rory McIlroy, a Tiger, a Phil Mickelson. Like that again is like a different level again.
It is literally ridiculous how good these guys are. And he stood on the tee, and he's hitting a driver, and you know, like sometimes when I stand there, I can't imagine how I'm going to hit a good shot. I'm looking, thinking this could go left, could go right, or it could go straight, it could do anything. I don't have any idea. When he's there, I can't see anything other than the middle of the fairway, or worst case, just leaking to the right by 5 yards.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. And the weirdest bit is, I was due to play. It was you, a guy called Owen, and possibly going to be and Minwoo, and then possibly me as well. And then we found out, I think, just before going playing, that I couldn't play because he had a friend come in. And truthfully, now I wasn't bothered. I'd played at St Andrews. I'd had the best day of my life. I thought, you know what? I always feel golfed out because it was tough that Friday as well. The conditions were horrendous. So I thought, I'm looking forward to a walk around. I can put more layers on. I can wear a big, chunky coat. I had a packet of salt and vinegar quavers in my coat as well.
Living the dream.
Yeah. So we got there, and there was this lad on the tee who was obviously his friend. And I don't know why, I had this like feeling that he was like a 7 handicapper, so I could get it round. He wasn't a world beater, but he was off about 7 or 8. And he was a bit of a fan of Minwoo's, who they connected through Instagram.
Well, it was almost Minwoo that said that after the podcast. He went, "Oh yeah, just a friend of mine is going to join me. He's only an amateur."
Yeah,
that was his line. He's only an amateur.
Exactly. So I thought this lad, that was what it was going to be. He's going to be a nice enough lad. I don't know why I had this thing in my head, because he's quite active on Instagram, Minwoo. So I kind of thought, well, he's from Australia. He's not going to know a lad who lives in Scotland. It must just be a connection or whatever. So we got there, we chatted to this lad, and I said a quick like hello, and he was, you know, he wasn't a big lad. He was a 20 years old, kind of like a normal 20-year-old kid.
Yeah.
And we got onto the tee, and then the 4 of you said, should we have a bit of a match as well then, or whatever? So Owen was off +2. He's an absolute baller. Minwoo's obviously a tour pro, won on the European Tour, turned pro of +5, baller. This guy, we said, what are you off? And I think he's going to say 7, 8, 9, +5. He was off +5, and it turns out that he is Scottish born, 20 years old, lived in Australia for the last 10 years, which is how he knows Minwoo Lee.
He's got an Australian nationality now.
Exactly, but he came over to Scotland, England for 6 months to try and play in all the amateur stuff, and he's staying with a family friend. He was an absolute baller. Josh Greer, his name is.
Yeah.
He is absolutely sick at golf.
And again, he played really well.
Yeah.
I think he shot like 6 under.
He was unreal.
Yeah. Again, Minwoo Lee played even better than that. Like it was a class day playing. Obviously, me and I kind of joked in the video and joked on the first day. I was comfortably the worst golfer in the group, which very rarely does happen for me. Like I'll play with good golfers, yes, but in a group of 4, very rare am I the worst golfer in the group, and I was comfortably.
You like that though, I think, because it was no pressure.
Well, it took all the pressure off me, and I was like, I know. Even people might be listening, yeah, but you're a golf pro, Rick. Yeah, but I'm not this level. I'm not a plus handicap. You've seen enough videos of mine now. If you're listening and watching the videos, that I would probably see myself, and we might do a fun video where I might work out my handicap soon. I see myself as realistic now, a 2 to 3 handicapper.
Well, let's put it this way then. Let's say you're 2, just for round figures. I would say Minwoo Lee now would be +7.
Yeah.
He's 9 shots around, probably going to shoot better than you, which I think he did. And you both played well. You played well. You shot level par. You had a really tidy score. You played so solid. I couldn't see you doing anything wrong. Little putt you missed on 18, which is a shame, but you hold loads of other good ones. So it's just the way it goes, isn't it? But he's literally like 9 shots better than you. Yeah. And you're like 9 shots better than the 10, 11 handicapper. Yeah. So it just puts it into the... It's just...
18 shots better than... He was 18 shots better than a 9 handicapper.
And he actually is. Like, it's unreal. Unreal.
So you're right, I played solid. I did something I've never done before. I had 15 pars on the bounce, only to break that par streak with a birdie on 16, and then parred 17, and annoyingly made a 3-putt bogey on the last hole to shoot level par. But can't be too disappointed. If someone had said to me at the start of the round, you're going to shoot 72, I'd have snatched her hand off. But I felt a bit like, that was annoying. But as you mentioned, I hold loads of really good putts from short range. Didn't particularly have my AA game on. The other thing I've certainly started to realise is when I hit greens now, I see that as a success, and I need to maybe change my mindset a little bit.
Get closer.
Yeah, because that's the biggest difference now. When I honestly look back and I've watched the video, I thought I had birdie opportunities. I didn't really. Like I didn't.
Birdie putts.
Birdie putts. I was miles away. So like, just doing 2 putts were great. But when you look at like Minwoo Lee again, I know we feel like we're blowing smoke up his arse a bit, but he was 9 under, and there was still a lot of really good birdie opportunities he missed, which is mind blowing. I look at my score and go, that's probably as good as I could have scored. Bar the last putt, maybe on the last green, that's as good as I could have scored. Because I'm not, unless I hold a 60-footer across the green, that wasn't likely to happen.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing now, like proximity to the hole, being just not only being able to hit a good tee shot down the fairway and putting yourself in a great position, but from 150 yards in, like these guys are breaking the flags.
It's unreal. There's 2 things I like kind of took away from it. The first one is I'm going to keep an eye on him this season on the European Tour. I think you said this. Well, you did. You were looking this morning.
I'm literally looking at the score. He's out in about 2 hours, and I can't wait to see how he does.
I'm going to keep an eye on him because it's a win-win. He's either going to go on and be class and win again on tour, in which case we've spent time with him and it's been great to see, or, well, it's not a win-win. If the worst case, if he doesn't do that well in the next season or this season or whatever, it'll open my eyes to the level that those guys are as well. The other thing I've took away...
Andy can have a future... we'll reserve him a spot to be a guest on our channel at any time.
Yes.
That's his fallback plan. If he doesn't make it...
Get on that video.
Get on an odd video.
Win-win. The other thing I'm going to take away from him, and this sounds a bit counterintuitive, but really this is truthful here. He was that good at golf. Didn't make me feel bad. It made me feel good because it made me realise how on earth can I get annoyed if I don't shoot a good score or don't play out well? Because I'm not actually that good to start with. Do you get what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's like if I go out and shoot a good score, and let's say I shoot 3, 4, 5 over par, which I should be pretty happy with, that's great, and I should be happy with that. But if I shoot 15 over, so what? I'm not playing for a living. I'm not a good golfer. Like, that is good golf. Like, I felt so far removed from it that it actually made me feel bad. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you mean. It put me... Yeah, I do get that. I want everything that he has, but I don't want to put the work in. So I can't be a good golfer.
Yeah,
I'm not allowed... I don't deserve to be a good golfer, because when I look at him and I walked off and I'm jealous of him to a degree, I'm like, bloody hell, how good was it? It was ridiculous. But I don't want to put the work in to get that good.
I don't think anyone does. A lot of people do, because it's obviously so much work, isn't it?
So that, for me, is almost like you might want it, but that's like looking at some guy who's ripped on Instagram and going, I want that body, but I'm not willing to work out and eat well.
5 guys, McDonald's.
Exactly.
How big bad on the way home? So we came home on Monday, was it? Monday evening.
Yeah.
Can we just talk through our McDonald's order quickly? Because
It was
absolutely
ridiculous.
outrageous.
It was ridiculous.
I had 2 triple cheeseburgers with a large fries.
First off, we had a 4-hour drive home. It was late in the afternoon. We'd done St Andrews Break 75, which again is coming out soon this weekend, this Friday. Left St Andrews, jumped in the car, packed everything up. We're tired, we're hungry, we're shooting down the motorway. We only really want to make one stop. We get to the first services.
It was just a petrol station.
Horrendous. Like, absolute disaster. So we had to, and we were so looking forward to food at that point.
What was your number one thing you wanted? A Mackey's? Or do you want a KFC? Weirdly?
I started to get a little, if I didn't get a Mackey's, I'd almost resigned myself to having a KFC.
Yeah.
So we're driving down a little bit further. We jump on another motorway en route back home, and we've probably been driving for maybe 2 hours by this point.
I was absolutely starving.
So luckily, we pulled into another kind of a semi-services with a petrol station. I needed petrol as well, which was lucky, and we found a McDonald's.
Golden arches screaming our names.
It was beautiful. So you had 2 double cheeseburgers,
oh, two triple
cheeseburgers,
a large fries.
Yeah.
And then you had, what were your burgers?
I had this kind of like chicken spicy mayo thing, which was really nice.
Yeah.
As a meal, large meal. A Big Mac on the side. Then we decided to order 20 nuggets.
Yes. And we didn't quite polish those off, but we did a good job.
Couple of drinks. We were debating McFlurries, but we didn't bother.
Should have done, really.
Went to services, bought a packet of chocolate raisins and also some squashes.
You went pretty big, but I don't blame you.
I needed it to keep me awake. That and a Monster, and I was rocking. I couldn't sleep that night.
I don't have a lot of McDonald's, but in certain situations like that, it just hits the spot. I was so hungry and so many calories so quickly. But yeah, it's good.